Welcome to Jarring Everything. I'm Sam Paone, and we're filming right here in my Sonoma production kitchen. With the help of my friend Roy, we've warmed up this industrial space with flowers from my farmer friends, and of course, the most beautiful produce Sonoma has to offer. My goal with this series is simple: to show approachable ways to think about ingredients differently. In a time where so much feels uncertain, learning how to create your own shelf-stable foods is more than a kitchen skill. It's a powerful, hopeful act. You'll notice what I call my general-ish percentages. Fermentation works anywhere from 2 to 5% salinity, but I still use a gram scale to keep it simple and approachable. Together, we will ferment, pickle, and preserve what's in season, and explore how these traditions can nourish us in new ways. This is my kitchen, my community, and my home. Welcome in. Hi everyone, welcome to Jarring Everything, our hyper-seasonal outlook on preservation. I'm Sam Paone, and today we're working with ginger, a root that's sharp, spicy, and warming. From drinks to dressings to pickles, ginger is one of the most versatile ingredients in preservation. My jars are cleaned, ginger bug is active, and the first on our project list today is ginger beer. Ginger beer is made by fermenting fresh ginger, sugar, lemon with a ginger bug starter. The culture ferments, producing fizz, probiotics, and layers of flavor. The result is a drink that's anywhere from non-alcoholic to lightly alcoholic. It's really up to you. Spicy, refreshing, and full of character. The first step is to make a ginger bug. This is the starter for the bigger batch we're gonna make. Now, to make a ginger bug, we're going to combine freshly grated ginger with the skin on with water and sugar. A little bit of raw sugar. And water. We will shake this to dissolve the sugar and let this sit for 5 days. Every day for the next 5 days, we're gonna add a tablespoon more of sugar and ginger. This feeds the starter. Every day, just a little bit more. And this builds that natural yeast and bacteria that create the fizz. Now, after 5 days, this is the ready-to-use ginger bug. Watch, look at how active this is. Do you see all of that carbonation? Did you hear that? It's working. Okay, in a new jar. In goes our ginger bug, about 1 cup of this bug. We're gonna add more lemon juice. More sugar. More freshly grated ginger with the skin on. The skins have an enzyme that helps fermentation thrive, which is how you get that natural carbonation with this drink. And water. Did I do the water already? Maybe. No, I didn't. Okay. All right, so this gets set aside as well. Ginger beer originated in England in the 18th century, where it was brewed more like a farmhouse ale. Over time, it became less alcoholic and more of a refreshing probiotic soda. Ginger beer can be enjoyed on its own as a refreshing drink, but it's also commonly used as a mixer in cocktails. One of the most popular cocktails featuring ginger beer is the Moscow Mule. After another 5 days at room temperature, we have this probiotic ginger drink, aka ginger beer. I am storing the finished brew in a swing top bottle to keep the natural carbonation as long as possible. I might as well have a sip of this. So as it sits, there's a little bit of settlement that I like to incorporate as I'm opening up the bottle. Maybe give it a little help there. That's exactly what you want to hear. This is so refreshing on a 95-degree day like today. Cheers. I don't know how anybody wouldn't like this. I've had ginger fermenting for a couple weeks already, and next we're making the fermented ginger ponzu dressing. Fermenting ginger is so simple and so flavorful. I wanted to highlight it in this ginger ponzu dressing. I just puree ginger with a 4% brine and let it sit for about 2 weeks. Here is the fermented ginger, which is the base for our dressing. This goes into our jar as the base. That's more than enough. And now let's make our ponzu sauce, our simplified ponzu sauce. In our citrus episode, I made a traditional ponzu, but here I'll show you a sauce that's ready to use immediately. Let's take a 1/4 cup of citrus juice. I'm using lime and lemon here. A 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm using tamari because you know I do love that gluten-free aspect of that. A teaspoon of mirin and a teaspoon of fish sauce. Then we'll finish with a small amount of toasted sesame oil and toasted sesame seeds. That's enough there. Finish with a small amount of toasted sesame oil and sesame seeds before topping with oil, and now we cover and shake. Use this to drizzle over grilled fish or vegetables, or use for a dressing on cold noodle salads or dumplings. That was so simple. Look at that emulsified toasted sesame oil. So delicious and full of umami. Sweet pickled ginger with shiso is next. The ginger's peeled and sliced thin, and we're finishing today with the sweet pickled ginger with shiso. I have my sanitized jar ready. I have ginger sliced thin here, and I've lightly salted this just to help start to break down the fibers. After an hour of salting, I rinsed the ginger, and this is what we have here. Let's get that pickling liquid going. In a pot, I will add rice vinegar, water, a little sugar, a little salt, and shiso from my garden. The red shiso will give a slight magenta hue and an herbal flavor that's somewhere between basil, mint, and anise. This will come up to a simmer, and then we'll let it cool down slightly before covering our ginger. All right, this has slightly cooled down. It's definitely not simmering anymore. I'm just gonna spoon our pickling liquid over the sliced ginger. Do you see that little pink magenta hue that the red shiso lent? Just by being in here for the 7 or so minutes that we had this heating. This gets placed in the refrigerator as soon as it comes to room temperature for about 2 days. This will last up to 2 years, and it's most traditionally enjoyed with sushi or sashimi, but feel free to blend it into salad dressings, marinades, or add to stir fry. I recently added it to pork sausage sliders, and everybody had seconds. This is one of my favorite ginger pickles of all time. I think that the pickled ginger with rice rolls was the first type of ginger I ever tasted, and I have so many memories of eating the pile of garnishes before eating the sushi rolls. So today we made a ginger bug and then brewed ginger beer, a fermented ginger ponzu dressing, and sweet pickled ginger slices with shiso. Ginger brings fire, brightness, and balance wherever it goes, from fizzy drink to a funky dressing to the sweet pickles we all know from sushi. It proves that preservation isn't just about keeping food longer, it's about unlocking new sides of flavor. Scan this QR code for more on Golden State Pickle Works. Thanks for joining me on Jarring Everything. I'll see you next time when we take another seasonal ingredient and discover what it can become.